Hello friends, welcome. Now I'm going to work with the projects to create a new project. Now to create a project, we need also the skills on the create form. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go inside the app HTTP controllers, project controller. When we render the create, I'm going to get all the skills and skills. I'm going to say skill all. Okay, get all the skills and add here as a prop. So we can add with compact if we want. So compact and say skills here. Okay, now we have all the skills. Let's go inside the resources, JS, pages, in the create page. I'm going to go inside the skills, create, and first I'm going to import all the logic here. So let's import all here, go to the create and replace with that. Now also I'm going to copy the form or all the div py12, copy that and go inside this and paste it. And if I save and let's go to the new project, we have something like this. Now, as I said, we need the skills, select for skills, and also we need the project URL. So for the project URL, I'm going to copy the name, the div for the name, duplicate it here, change this to be URL, and also change all of them to be project URL. Okay, I don't want to be out of focus this one. Project URL. Also here is going to be name. We are okay with project URL, I think. If I come here, yeah, here we have the URL. Now for the select, I'm going to add a div. Inside the div, I'm going to add a select, and inside the select option. Now for options, we need to make a v4, and here we need the skills. Now we added the skills on the create page. We need to define here. On the setup, let's say define props and say skills is going to be an array. With that, now we can say on the options v4 skill in skills, we need to add the key, which is going to be skill.id, and the value is going to be skill.id also. Here I'm going to display the skill.name. Okay, now on the select, I'm going to add the vModel for dot skill underscore ID, and we don't have them. So here we have only the name in the image, but we need the skill underscore ID and also the project URL. Okay. So we added the vModel. I'm going to add also the ID and the name just to have here. Skill underscore ID and the name to be skill ID. I'm going to add also some classes. So why I think better is to do something like this. I'm going to add some classes here, so class, and I'm going to copy and paste here. Just to save you some time. Okay, and if I save and let's go, yeah, here we have, okay, we need also the label. So let's copy the label and paste on this div and label for skill. Yeah. Now I think we have all the fields we need. On the submit, we send them to the projects.store. Now if I go to the projects controller on the store method, I'm going to say just and dump the request for now. And let's refresh, select the skill, add the name, let's leave it the URL. And if I say and dump in the request, we have the name, skill ID, and the project URL node. Okay. On the files, we have an array with one item, which is that image. Very good. Now let's go and create and store the project and redirect back to the project's index. So we need to go inside the store method and the same thing we have done. So let's open the skill controller and I'm going, because it's going to be almost the same, and paste it here. First, we need to validate the image name, the project, the skill ID, skill underscore ID, which is going to be required. Now for the project URL, we don't need to be required. It's not required that. After that, we check if the request has file, image, get that, upload the image and get the path. And here we need to say project create now, add the name, add the image, add the project URL, the request project URL, and also we need to add the skill ID. Skill ID is the request skill ID like this. Okay, after we create the project, we need to return redirect to the skills index, not skills index, but projects index, otherwise return back. So first we validate that, we check if we have the image, if we don't have, we just return back, and we need to add also the message here, an info, a banner. So when we return and redirect, we can say with message and say that message. But for now, I'm going to leave it as it is. So we say project create, skill ID, request skill ID, and so on. Let's save and let's see if we can create the project. So if I open projects, we don't have any project. Let's say skill. Laravel, only one we have. I'm going to say test for now. The URL is going to be empty, Laravel PNG. Okay, I chose this Laravel PNG, so let's say store, and we return to the projects. Very good. Now if I go and refresh this, we have the project. Just one more thing, I want to change the folder. So here is going to be projects, not skills. And I think we are okay. So let's go back here. We have the name, the skill ID, the project URL is not. Okay, let's go and create one more. And now the same thing. I'm going to just to say something like this. I'm going to add the URL just to see we have the image is going to be the same because I don't have any image right now. So let's say store, we return back. And if I refresh this, we have another one. And as you can see now, the project URL is this project. Very good. That's it about this video, and see you in the next one.